What's up, everybody? Stone Cold RKO 512 back with another video. It's gonna be a Raw review. I don't know how long it's been since I've done one, but I'm gonna do this one because actually, for what it was, it was a good Raw. I enjoyed it. There was some sad news that was really shocking, and it wasn't like it was sad, but it's for the better. I'll get to it in a second. Started off with John Cena coming out, talking about The Rock, and then Randy Orton comes out, said at least he won his match at Mania, and and then the weird thing was Morrison came out. I was sitting there like, wait a second, doesn't he have backstage heat? And it was like he's about to get in the main event match or try to get into the title picture. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then Dolph Ziggler comes out with a new shirt, which people are saying is generic, but I actually think it's pretty beast. It says, I am perfection, DZ, for Dolph Ziggler, and on the back says Dolph Ziggler. I will probably end up getting that very soon, and I know Kevin will be buying it as well, probably. And yeah, and then the biggest surprise, R-Truth comes out, and there's just like what was that? One, two, three, four, five people, and then the GM, didn't it? And there's gonna be a 5-man gauntlet match, which I was like, all right, cool, this is gonna be entertaining. I wonder who's gonna be the thing. So they started off pretty good. So I remember someone tweeted saying, "Oh, this is Impact" or something. But it started off pretty good. That kind of got me a little bit pumped for the Raw, even though Truth was in it. But then we had a Divas match. We had Eve, who I don't even know why the hell she was champion, versus Brie Bella, and it was for the Divas Championship. There's no Divas division, anyways. And what happened was she brought out a marker so they can mark, which so they didn't have to do the 20 magic or whatever the hell it's called. And what happened, the match, I marked out though because Brie Bella won. As long as it was on Eve, I was fine. But yeah, new Divas champion, even for what it's worth, Brie Bella. And what happened was Nikki came in, and then they found out she wasn't in there, which should have probably automatically been a disqualification anyways. But they pushed her out of the ring, which caused actual distraction for Brie to get the win and become the new Divas champion. A little mark-out moment. Then, I don't know when they showed this, but I'm pretty sure it's probably after the Divas match. They showed an awesome Kong, or should I say Kong, promo. I think that's what she's going to be referred to from now on, as Kong. So she's like ripping the head off of a doll, or there's a blonde-haired doll. So it's kind of like, showing she's going to like dominate the Divas. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we saw, I think it was after Sin Cara's match, I don't know, but I just wanted to throw that in there. Then Sin Cara makes his debut match on television. He had a debut match off television against Primo also, if nobody knew that. And I watched that match also. But this match was good. It was a great debut match for Sin Cara. Sin Cara is the real deal. He pulls some all-star shit off, where he fucking just did a flip off of the dude's chest, Primo's chest. That was sick. I was sitting there like, move over, Rey Mysterio. But crazy 6 spots for Sin Cara. A botch by Primo. In my opinion, it was Primo. He was on the ropes and he slipped off, and Sin Cara went for the save and fell off. He tried saving it for what it was worth. Like he got pushed off or something. Then he came back up, did this fucking awesome move. I don't know what it's called, but it was sick. And Sin Cara won. Epic fucking match. Loved it. And I called this. The core came out, and I was like, immediately, I was like, me and my brother having a conversation. It's like, oh, the core's dominant. I'm like, dude, they're about to break up. I just know it. And then then Wade Barrett's like, we're not equals, and if you can't hold your own. And then Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater talking about, we are 3-time tag team champions. And then Ezekiel got in Wade's face, so that was some weird stuff, because they're kind of teasing the breakup. So I was like, ooh, because the core. I like the core, but maybe they do need to break up. Then this happened. The Apple came out. I don't remember what it stands for. I didn't really care for it, and yeah, so we had Apple, which was Santino, Evan Bourne, Daniel Bryan, and Mark Henry. Yeah, versus the Core, which I actually thought the Core was going to lose because they've been on a losing streak and they're about to break up. So I thought maybe they were about to break up, but the Core actually ended up getting the win with Justin Gabriel hitting Santino when he's about to hit the Cobra, and Heath Slater getting the win. So yeah, well that was kind of funny. The Apple and the thing, and then kind of, I was like Carlito's gonna come out. Just watch, you know. But yeah, then we had here's the part they were teasing throughout the whole show, um, which was very shocking to me. And I'm gonna be honest, you know, I cheered up during this. Guy, you know, Edge came out and pretty much announced that the doctors told him that he can't wrestle anymore, and you know, he's just like he couldn't do it anymore, and I respect it. Everybody should. I know people were like it's too soon, but come on, you don't want him to end up in a wheelchair. You don't want him to get hurt any more than he could. And people were saying he should have done it in Toronto, but this was his time. If he had to do it, he had to do it. If he wouldn't, and I think Edge wouldn't do this. He wouldn't put his retirement as a work. I don't think he's been saying it before how he was going to retire, and when it was going to happen, it was going to happen, and this was the time. And he talked about his career, and I was sitting there, I was like, oh, this can't be a work. They're going too much into detail about like back when he was Brood, a bunch of good time stuff. Edge and Christian, the 5-second pose. They went through everything, and then they had the backstage where they're hugging. I think Natalia was crying. So I thought it. I think it's genuine. I think it's 100% real. Thank you, Edge. I was lucky to see you wrestle back in the day. Not recently, but still one of the greatest, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he is a legend. So thank you, Edge. And then we had the 5-man gauntlet. The 5-man gauntlet, which started off with Ziggler versus Randy Orton and Good. I was glad they started off with these two people. I was really good. I was really glad actually, because I've always wanted to see them put on. They put on a good match before. But the thing that really excited me in this match was when the Nexus came out and basically fucking screwed over Randy Orton. Now, I'm being a Randy Orton fan, but I'm a huge Nexus fan. I told you, motherfucker. I told you. He kept wearing that armband, and I told you they were coming back. I don't care if it was a new Nexus or they just brought back the old Nexus. They are back, and they got their revenge. Alright? Dolph Ziggler picked up the win, and then they just fucking owned the shit out of Randy Orton. And Mason Ryan gave him. It looked like I thought he was gonna hit the Batista bomb, but he just hit a power bomb. And so what the theater was, it was McGillicuddy, David Otunga, and Mason Ryan. So yeah, the new Nexus is back. Shit. All right, so then we had Ziggler versus R-Truth. R-Truth fucking won. On to the next thing. John Morrison came out, and I was like, oh, okay. John Morrison, Miz, this has got to happen. Maybe then, like, when Cena comes out last against John Morrison the win-off. R-Truth wins. Cena comes out. I'm sitting here like, oh, we haven't seen CM Punk yet. Jump his ass. No CM Punk. No jumping his ass. Cena comes out. They actually put on a pretty good match, or a pretty decent match, for the last little thing. And I'm sitting here like, who the fuck am I going to go for? The Yabba Dabba Bitch or the Jobber? And I'm like, either way, I fucking lose. But I actually was rooting for R-Truth, sadly. But R-Truth's getting a major push in like 5 seconds on Raw when he hasn't been on it. And isn't he supposed to be having a tag match with Johnny Curtis? What the hell is Johnny Curtis? Brodus Clay was at WrestleMania. Johnny Curtis is where? I don't fucking know. You guys tell me. We'll see John Cena versus R-Truth, and it ended in The Miz. Well, John Cena was about to win, clearly. The Miz came out, he was on the commentary. I mean, but him and Al Charlie came out and just really should have been John Cena won because he hit him first, like for the DQ, but it was double DQ. That's what they said. So double DQ, and then the GM, Miz says that they both are losers, and then the GM said that there's going to be a triple threat match at elimination. I mean, not elimination, botch. Extreme Rules, triple threat, R-Truth, John Cena, and the Miz. So basically, yeah, Miz better retain that shit, and I don't know what they're gonna do for that match. The Raw was it entertained me. I watched it. I felt into it. Sin Cara's debut, free winning was alright. I marked out a little bit because I just didn't want Eve to have the belt anymore, and they're more deserving anyways ever since they turned heel. And the Gauntlet was pretty entertaining for what it was. I was surprised with R-Truth, so they really surprised me there. And then Edge's retirement, it was sad, but like when you're watching it, you're sitting there and like this man's a legend. He's the man, and to see all the stuff go through, it really makes you feel great to be a wrestling fan. And like, oh, that sucks. I'll never get to see him wrestle again. But hey, it was his time. He didn't want to go through the pain and suffering. I respect him. One of the best wrestlers, one of my favorite wrestlers, and wish him the best. He's the man. Thank you, Edge. Alright, everybody, drop your comments. What do you think about this Raw? I know this probably video is sucky. I don't know. I was a little off tonight. But drop me some comments, and I will have a video for a certain YWC member tomorrow. And also, I will be on Blog TV with a fellow Death Row member. So look out for those videos. And also, I'm looking for people to be on my show. So if you want to be on the Danger Zone, drop me some messages. You have to be able to record yourself and have a Skype, and I'll ask the questions. So hit me up, drop the comments, subscribe, dislike the video, whatever. Peace.